Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. YouTube says we are live, so let's go ahead and get started. This is episode number 35 of our Old Guy Farms Old Guy Challenge, single player challenge here on the special edited version of Goldcrest Valley by Mr. Jerry Ott. This is again episode number 35. Let's go ahead and get in. No mods that we're going to be changing out for today. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Fridays, of course, are probably everybody's favorite, even young people, students. You know, Friday, especially once school gets started, Friday's obviously the end of the school week, and of course, there's all kinds of fun activities usually on Friday evenings, like high school football and things like that. Especially if you were raised in the state of Texas, places like that where football is really pretty big. Then obviously Friday evenings were pretty important to you and pretty special to you. I know they were for me. So we're gonna collect our eggs here as my chair keeps rolling backwards here. What is going on? There we go. I have a rolling chair that I sit in, and I have a sort of a tile floor. And depending on how hard I press on the accelerator pedal, which is obviously what I use to go forward, and use my mouse to steer when I'm walking. Of course, I have my wheel when I am driving, but if I press on the accelerator pedal or if I press on the brake pedal pretty hard, I tend to slide back just a little bit. It's also one of the other reasons why it's a little difficult for me to drive a stick shift in like ATS and ETS2 because of the whole clutch and brake and stuff like that. I can kind of keep my chair from rolling backwards a little bit by sort of leaving one foot on the sort of the pedal deck, my left foot on the pedal deck, which would normally be the foot that I would actually clutch with, and that kind of keeps me from rolling back just a little bit. But anyway, let's see. Chris Webb is in the house. Hello, Mr. Grizzly, he says. Hope your day was well. It was awesome, Chris. Thank you so much. I'm glad that Friday came along because now I know that tomorrow is Saturday, and I'm sort of back in sync with I am sort of back in sync with everything with regards to the day of the week and all that stuff. So actually, let's see. We don't want to park this in here because we need to actually do our greenhouses and stuff today. So I'm going to drop that right here, and I'm going to go ahead and back up. And we're going to, let's see, Mitchy Mitch 12, good evening. Thanks for stopping by, Mitchy Mitch. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Hope you had a wonderful Friday. Hope your Friday was nice and relaxing for you. Hope your work week or school week, or if you're not in, if you're a young person and you're just off from school, I hope that you had a good week. Regardless of what the situation is, I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Certainly did. It's been a little bit of a long week. As a matter of fact, I may have said something last night about wasn't sure if I was going to be streaming tonight or not. My wife and I did actually watch a movie. I got home about 3:30 or so. I went in early this morning, and we didn't have anything going on tonight as far as IT changes and stuff. So I left the office about 3:15 or so, and had to run one errand, and I was at home by 3:30. I live pretty close to the office, and traffic wasn't too bad, and so my wife had actually felt pretty good today, and she made a very nice shepherd's pie, um, which is kind of an English style meal, kind of a hearty kind of thing, kind of a maybe an old world kind of carrots, potatoes, stuff like that in it, and that was nice. We've had some cooler temperatures, and I guess she was just sort of in the mood for something like that, a nice hearty type meal. And of course, she's had quite a busy week, and little bit of a stressful week and everything. So yeah, it's come out nice, and we've got more cool weather coming, as a matter of fact. Now I know some of our folks that were watching the stream last night were a little irritated about me talking about the weather, but you know something, it does say the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and I meant what I said last night, and I will say it again. We'll talk about whatever we want to talk about, and but yeah, cooler weather is coming back again even next week. I think next week we're going to struggle to get into the 70s, if you can believe it or not. And I think even, if I'm not mistaken, I saw something on Facebook just maybe 5 or 10 minutes before I went live. I was out there looking around, and I believe our local, one of our local news websites had posted pictures from the high country, and they got snow up there today. So of course snow is capable year-round here in Colorado, especially in the high country. If you are familiar with Colorado, if you've been out this direction, then you know, especially if you've gone out I-70 west, you know that up over through Eisenhower Tunnel, that portion of I-70 is up around 10,000 feet or so in elevation, maybe 9,005 or something, and it's quite, like I said, it's quite high in elevation, and so it can snow up there just about any time if the weather is right. As a matter of fact, I have been on top of Pikes Peak in July and have had snow falling. And of course, Pikes Peak is at about 14,100 feet or so. It is one of the 14ers that I have that I've actually climbed. When I first moved to Colorado, I was going to climb all the 14ers. There's 54 of them, and I was going to climb all of them. And but you know, time and all that kind of stuff, and best laid plans of mice and men, and well, you guys know the rest of all of that. So anyway, I think I've climbed 3 or 4, which, I mean, you know, you might think somebody that moves out here 19 years ago that had a plan to climb all 54 or 14,000 foot peaks in Colorado would have at least got maybe through half of the list. But you know, just work and everything like that. Like I said, it keeps you hopping and keeps you kind of away from things. There have been times where, you know, my wife and I it's been like an entire year or year and a half before we've gotten up into the mountains to enjoy the high country. So, all right, so we're going to park that there for right now because we're going to use it here again in just a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and do water now for both our greenhouses as well as our sheep. Let's see who else has joined. Well, let's see. Mitchy Mitch 12 says, love shepherd's pie. Don't think I've had that since I went to college. Yeah, it's a good, we enjoy it in the kind of in the winter time. And again, I think my wife was just, you know, she was so impressed with the cooler weather, which is a little bit rare. I mean, we have had cooler temperatures before, obviously, you know, this early, but nothing quite that cool, where the daytime high really struggled to get into 70 something degrees, and so she felt like that. And as a matter of fact, even the day after her surgery, she was like sort of craving soup. She felt that maybe a good bowl of chicken noodle soup might help her. So let's see who else is in. Cameron Castles, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by, bud. Appreciate that. Hope you are having a wonderful Friday afternoon or evening, or perhaps Saturday morning, depending on where you might be. Don't know. But regardless, I hope it's a good time for you. And we'll just go ahead and give our sheep some water here. Let's just pull up the stats page here. I also wanted to see, we sold $111,000 worth of wood yesterday. I didn't look at this before we ended the stream, and I was a little concerned that we didn't even come close to hitting 100,000. So that was actually good that we actually passed that, because it is kind of my goal on the days that we are chopping wood, if you will, that we try to get that close to that $100,000 average, if it's at all possible, just to kind of keep our cash flow coming in. That's all part of the challenge. And if you're new to the stream, I'll talk a little bit kind of in brief as far as what the challenge and all that stuff means. Of course, you can get complete information about the challenge from underneath the video. But it is a challenge, and so sort of the goal is to see who finishes out after 3 game years using the seasons mod set at 6 game days per season, to see who has the most money after they've sold everything. So Chris says they can get happy in the same shoes they got mad in. The way I see it, yeah, he's talking about the folks that we had to deal with in last night's stream. We had some rowdy trolls that came in and tried to disrupt things, but I've got some great moderators that have nice sharp band hammers, and I let them swing the hammers how they see fit. So as long as you are civil and as long as you sort of follow by the general rules of YouTube live streams and all that kind of stuff, you can stay around and enjoy the stream and chit chat, ask questions if you have any, whatever. It's kind of why we're here. And you know, I don't know everything, but I usually do have a few folks in the stream that might know a little bit too. So if you are new to Farm Sim 17 or even 15 as far as that goes, because some of us even still play that. I don't, but some do. If you have questions or whatever, you can certainly ask. So Mitchy Mitch says, I live in Oklahoma and we are rejoicing over the high of only 85 today. Yes, you know, Mitchy Mitch, I'm sure that is not an understatement at all. I certainly remember times growing up in Texas. I grew up in East Texas and lived in Dallas for a number of years, and I can remember when you celebrate, you're almost fist pumping other folks when the daytime high is in the mid 80s or even the very low 90s. The very low 90s on a stretch of time where it's been, you know, plus 100 for many, many days in a row. When you can get a day where it's only about 85 or even 90, that's almost a time for celebration. When I moved here to Denver in 1998, we had over 40 something days consecutive of over 100 degrees in Dallas before I moved here, and it was just miserable. And so I certainly know how all that goes. Oop, we need to shut off our truck there. All right, so we need to do something here before it perhaps considers that it's going to start raining, and that is we need to go buy some more hay. Now you might ask yourself, well, why are we buying hay if we are farming? And part of that reason is because, well, right now I can't find my hay trailer or my flatbed trailer. Oh, there it is right there. It was just kind of out of my vision as I came around the corner. But, you know, we, again, because of the challenge, because of the nature of the challenge, we're kind of throwing maybe all of the elements of traditional farming out the window and kind of focusing on things that will make us money and kind of prevent added costs and all that kind of stuff. And so in order to do, as you all will, I'm sure will know, in order to do to get hay, well, you got to have a mower, you got to have a tedder, you got to have a rake, you got to have a baler. Now I could rent or lease those things, true enough, and could consider that, but again, that's sort of an added expense. Now, of course, baling or going down and buying the bales, that obviously is a cost there as well. But what my part of my strategy is, I'm hoping this pans out, is I'm hoping that my strategy is that our traditional farming that we are doing, and of course we've got 3 fields up at the main farm area, and then we've got 2 other fields that we own, and we've been running missions in a third, in a 6th field, I suppose. And we most likely will buy that field before it comes ready to harvest. And then the 3rd year, which will obviously be next year, this is year number 2, we will obviously farm that field. I'm hoping that the profit that we make off of the farms itself, or the fields itself, so in other words, the harvesting of the wheat, the barley, the canola and stuff like that, I'm hoping that is able to cover the expenses of, and that's not under animals, is it? It is under pallets. I'm hoping that that is able to cover the expenses of everything that we have more or less involved. So in other words, our sort of our daily maintenance stuff, our let me just load these up really quick here. Come on. I've got to look at the wrong. See, square bells. That's it. Work position U. Again, I'm hoping that the daily costs and everything will sort of be absorbed or paid for by the profits that we're making off the field. So that includes things like the rental costs for not only the combine, which we obviously will rent, but also for things like the seed, the fertilizer, our labor that we occasionally hire from time to time, and all of our operating expenses, etc. If the fields will basically cover those costs, then we're essentially using our timber work to actually help propel ourselves into the winner's bracket or whatever. So we've got 1.6 million in the bank right now. We still have $1 million laying on the ground in gold nuggets. We will collect a few nuggets maybe today. Well, I think we've got about 60 or so that we've collected, so we're more than halfway to getting all 100. And of course we can get that, I hope, fingers crossed, we'll get that, if not this end of this year, but definitely sometime next year before winter sets in, because we're bracing ourselves for yet another really bad winter. And let me just catch up with the chat here for a second. So AW Bro Gaming, gameplay and vlogging. I am doing great, sir, and hope you are doing the same. Welcome to the stream and thanks for stopping by. So anyway, I don't know if those things will work. It's just kind of a strategy, and I sort of realized pretty quick that in order to keep up with Farmer Klein and some of the other folks that are doing a really fine job in all this, that I was going to need to sort of have a strategy that was going to sort of really help us do a really good job here. So let's see, I think that's wide unload. It is. So we will go ahead and park this flatbed, because we will not need it again for a little while. That is, unless we get a great demand for wool. So we will leave it right here, and we're going to put this hay under cover, because if it starts raining, we will lose it. So hopefully we can do this in fairly quick fashion. So anyway, our morning is ticking away. It's almost 10 o'clock, and we've been streaming for about 18 minutes, I suppose. So as you can tell, time flies when you're having fun. And that is what this challenge has been for me, is it has been fun, oddly enough. And hopefully that won't fall. There we go. The challenge has been fun. We are 35 episodes into this challenge. And it's been interesting. I will say this. I've talked about this oftentimes, how that I often feel like a fish out of water because of the high-speed play that we are playing with this at 15x speed. It doesn't really lend a lot of time to think about things, to make a decision about a particular tractor or whatever, and you just kind of have to go with the flow. And if you make a mistake, well, you got to live with it. You got to own it, and that's what we've done. So we've probably made some mistakes, true enough, but I think we've also got a fairly good strategy with the wood, with the timber work and stuff, and we've cut down 800 or 900 trees, I believe, since we started this, and that's probably going to be the end. I think that's probably going to be the end of my lumber, or my forestry efforts in Farm Sim 17, anyways, for at least for a little while, because I'd also cut down 300 trees on Mountain Valley Farm. Of course, doing that with the Ponzi Scorpion King, which obviously makes light work of it. Granted, I mean, there's some folks that are doing some folks that are doing this challenge. I think Old Guy Farmer is actually cutting trees down manually, perhaps, and of course, quite a few people are playing another challenge that Old Guy Farmer has going. That is on Mountain Valley Farm, the same map that I'm doing a Let's Play on, and they're also doing that with manual work. As a matter of fact, Farmer Klein released a video within the last 24 or 48 hours or so where he provides quite a bit of good information on manual logging. So go to his channel. You can find a link to his channel down below and take a look at that. He shows off some of the things that will help if you want to do manual logging. And of course, here on this map and with the fact that we are doing a challenge, we just have to use the Ponzi, and we just have to, you know, do things that way with the auto loading trailer and stuff like that. But you know, it is a little bit cheating as far as the auto loading trailer is concerned, but as I've said many times, there is no right or wrong way to play this game. It's whatever you enjoy, however you define the word fun is fine enough. All right, so if my calculations are correct, this purchase of hay will get us through this year, I believe. I will sort of take a look at that again later, but I wanted to get that today because as you can kind of tell, we do have just a little bit of a weather situation coming up, and of course we are now able to reveal yet another game day of fall. And look at that, our first game day of fall is going to be sunshine, so we are definitely going to get to work on that day harvesting. But then we've got rain on the second, third, and fourth game days of fall. So again, most likely we're going to remain in a wet crop situation for those days. And then we're going to get a little bit of a break on the fifth day of fall. And then on the sixth day of fall, we've got rain again. So I think that's almost an identical weather forecast to what we had last or the first year. And of course, that tells me and sort of scares me into knowing that most likely our winter is also going to be quite interesting, with lots of snow, lots of layers of snow, which is really what killed us last year. And it's one of the reasons why we're up here on this sort of this mountaintop here clearing trees off, because we will want to make sure that we are positioned into a flatter area when it comes time to actually resuming winter and trying to do forestry and everything then. So let's just again, let's just kind of take a look at our crops and everything here. I just want to keep an eye on this and make sure that everything is still growing, everything is fully fertilized. 23 here, this is the field that we've been doing the mission work on. So if we do decide to buy that, then obviously what we will do is we'll harvest it and then plow it and then reseed it next for next year. So all right, so let's get going here with our wood cutting operation. We'll cut a little bit and then we'll haul some timber down to the mill and continue to add to our bank account there. Austin Weller says hello, Grizzly. Well, hello, Austin. Hope you are doing fine. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping into the channel and saying hello. I do appreciate that. So this is a challenge map that we are doing. It's a specially prepared version of Goldcrest Valley that was modified by Old Guy Farmer, Mr. Jerry Ott. You can find a link to his website and also his YouTube channel down below. And Very would like to certainly say thank you to Mr. Jerry Ott for not only creating the challenge but also for editing the map and giving something to the community for us to enjoy. We've often talked about on our live streams about the importance of our modding community. without our modding community, well, we just would not be having fun. You know, we would have already done everything that there was to do, and so yeah, so this is just a good opportunity to say thanks. I would like to point out another video for you to watch. I mentioned just a few minutes ago the video that Farmer Klein created on manual mowing and everything, so check that out. That'll be a cool thing if you're interested, not manual mowing, but manual logging. That'll be a cool thing to check out if you're interested in doing that. But also, I think it was yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening, I didn't get a chance to watch it until this morning, but our good friend Eustace Farmer did a sort of a map preview of the very new and upcoming, it's not released yet, but it is a sort of a mutual project between Bullet Bill. You may know Bullet Bill from Coleborough Park Farm fame. He was the map author of that, and Oxygen David. They have joined forces, as we cannot seem to cut this tree here. They have joined forces to create a brand new map, and I think it's going to be quite cool. It is called the West Coast. It is a typical English style map that I suppose exists on the west coast of Great Britain, and it looks very nice, and Eustace Farmer did a really wonderful job showcasing that, and I have already sort of linked at the very top of the sort of at the top of the video, or underneath the video, I'm sorry, the top of the text underneath the video screen, I have put a link to that video, and I hope that you will take the opportunity to watch it. Not only watch it for the simple fact that Eustace Farmer is quite possibly the very best storyteller there is in all of YouTube as far as farm sim content goes. I just absolutely love his storylines. He has such a great way of communicating, and his imagination and all of his characters and everything that he puts into his farm sim videos is nothing that I have ever seen before with regards to farm sim content. And if you're not a subscriber of Eustace Farmer's YouTube channel, I would certainly encourage you to go and subscribe, because it's going to be one of those things that you're just absolutely going to enjoy his streams. And we've already sold soybeans, unfortunately, but that's okay. But anyway, I hope you'll go out and watch that video and subscribe to his YouTube channel. But you know, I think once again I want to sort of say that we owe so much to our modding community. Those guys who you know, spend hours, days, hours, weeks working on these maps. These are not easy things. I have spent hours just doing very simple modifications to maps, like for example adding like the toolbox mod, where you have to go into Giant's editor and add that, and it took me quite a while to do that. So I can only imagine the level of patience and the level of time that it takes to do a full-blown map from scratch. So Cali Brothers, as I run into that rock, sorry about that, I'm looking at the chat and not paying attention to where I'm going. Cali Brothers saying, are you just logging? Well, I am logging at the current moment in time. As you can see, we've got fields down below that do have wheat, barley, canola, and soybeans on them. We are in late summer, so we don't have anything yet that's available to harvest. But just as soon as those fields are available to harvest, then obviously we will be harvesting those fields and doing typical farming. But right now it's kind of about trying to make some money, and logging is a good way to do that because the price of timber does not fluctuate, and so we can sell as much as we want, and we will get the same price for it. And so it's just a good product there. Let's see what else is going on here in the chat. Chris Webb, we would definitely be suffering by now without modders. Yeah, and we've talked about that in the last several episodes, but I just wanted to point out that preview because I know a lot of folks, some folks enjoy British style maps and some folks do not. But if you are sort of looking for a map that I think is going to be quite honestly possibly the best map for Farm Sim 17, and you guys know how I feel about law folds. But what I've seen in that preview, as I almost run into the building there, because again, I'm looking at chat, but I see in this map sort of the excitement that I once had for Coleborough Park Farm for Farm Sim 15. Now you might be asking yourself, well, you know, why do I not feel that same excitement for that map in 17? And I wanted to, but I'd spent so much time playing it in 15 that I think I just played myself out of it. And when it came out, I just couldn't recapture the spark and the spirit and everything. And of course, so many maps are available now, but I think this thing is going to be just incredible. So again, go out there and watch that video, and then obviously subscribe to Eustace Farmer's channel, because he's got just a ton of content, and the way that he does his Let's Plays and stuff like that is just something that you're gonna enjoy, hopefully, as I try to cut this tree down. Okay, sometimes it won't cut from an angle. You'll have to kind of come around and grab it from another angle, which we may do if we decide to cut it again. It is a bit on the short side, but it's kind of here, and this is where we are logging at the present moment in time. And this one is also being a little bit of a problem child. Come on. All right, well, we'll leave that one for now. So if you like what you see, I would appreciate it if you would hit the like button, and also, just as importantly, if you are new to my channel, and if tonight might be the first time that you've actually stumbled across my channel, I would appreciate it if you would go ahead and subscribe. I've got quite a few Let's Play videos. I've also got a fairly extensive collection of courseplay tutorials as well. So if you are just kind of getting started out with Farm Sim 17, and you might be a little bit new to courseplay and stuff like that, then hopefully my tutorials will help get you grounded and help get you on your way to doing a few basic things. And here comes the rain. That's okay, because we can still log in the rain, and as long as we don't have a bunch of snow, we'll still have good traction and everything to be able to move these trees around and obviously carry them down to the sell point. So I talked a little bit about last night in last night's stream. I talked about my new purchase. I did purchase Car Mechanic Simulator 18 or 2018, and I got a chance to play it a little bit this afternoon when I got home from the office. I had watched a few videos, and the controls and everything are quite different from the 2015 version. I am going to do some recordings or some videos on Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. So that will that'll come to the channel soon. I may even do some live streams, but right now my live stream time is probably going to be pretty much devoted to this challenge until we can get this done. And of course, we are almost halfway through. This challenge will have a total of 72 episodes before it's all said and done. And so we're almost done. I think, oddly enough, I know I've been saying for the last couple of weeks that I've got some travel that's coming up. I think it may have been officially canceled today, or at least the need to do it was kind of canceled today. Actually, maybe I lie. Maybe the correct word would be that it's been kind of postponed, but you know, budgets and all that kind of stuff, and just available time and stuff, which is good for me, because I was having to, I had two different trip possibilities that I was going to have to do, and I think that both of them are going to either be just basically go away and get canceled altogether, or they will be deferred till sometime later in the fall, which we've got to be done with this challenge by November 1st, but I think at the rate that we've been going, almost doing probably 6 episodes a week, 5 episodes a week or something like that, I think that we'll get through with this in fairly quick order. I hope so anyways. I'm having fun, but you know, 72 episodes is a pretty big task for something like this, and thankfully we do have until the 1st of November to get it done. But so we'll see. My thing about the IT world is it's ever changing, and somebody may say, well, we need to go ahead and put that project through, and if that does happen, then obviously I will need to travel again. So in addition, if you're new to FarmSim 17, I do have an extensive mod list that I keep updated on a regular basis. If you go to grizzlybearsims.com, again, that's grizzlybearsims.com, you'll find a link there on my blog site for add-ons and mod directory. Just click that link, and it'll show you my Google spreadsheet, my Google Doc spreadsheet, and that's where I have my mod list updated. And I do keep it updated. I added just a few mods that I found within the last couple of days. I've added those, and of course the Mack truck and the trailer, the auto-loading trailer, those are both mods, and those are both on my mod spreadsheet. That trailer was modded by Stevie. Stevie, of course, is the very talented modder, map designer, the author of Pineco Farm, as well as his brand new one, Snetterton's. And so if you haven't played his maps, I would encourage you to do so. They're also he's also one of the best, or one of my favorite modders. And you can get his entire collection of mods, both for FarmSim 15 as well as FarmSim 17 at PCSG. And I've got a link down below to PCSG. And Mathos said Stevie rocks, and that is true. That is so true. Stevie, not only does he do quality work, he also very thoroughly is serious about his work. And if there's any problems whatsoever, he fixes them. He will. I think the man loses sleep at night, knowing the fact that he's got something that doesn't work just right, or it doesn't look just right, or there's a blade of grass it's sort of in the wrong place, and he just is so dedicated to his fans. And of course he is retiring, but he hasn't retired yet, and but we did ask his permission, and of course Stevie has been a member of PCSG for quite a long time, at least over a year. Stevie has, and so we offered to host his mods for him. We have fast servers that the website is hosted on, as well as the mods that are there, and so they don't have pop-up ads or anything like that, and so you can get to it. All you have to do is you do have to register, so you'll need to sign up with PCSG, but it's certainly free, and it's a good website for you to use, because not only do we have some cool mods there by some really cool people, we also have a lot of very talented people that have been in this hobby of not only farm sim, but simulation-based gaming. And of course PCSG stands for just that, PC simulation games. And so guys like Reefy 1952, Mirman, Mike, Bipolar Prophet, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Our mutual friend, of course I'm talking about Bipolar Prophet, our mutual friend Mike. That guy is a wealth of knowledge. He knows more than I think ever think to learn about farm sim and stuff. And so he's active there. He's also one of the moderators, along with myself and a couple of others. And so if you have an answer or if you need an answer to a question, PCSG is going to be the place that's going to help you get that answer. And the cool thing about it is we don't believe in telling people, use Google, do your search online, or search the forums or whatever. We fully understand that not everyone may know the correct search terms, or may be confused about something or whatever. And so we understand that, you know, people will need help, and they may ask the same questions over and over, and we're there to help any way that we possibly can. So we just continue to cut wood. That is, I know, getting a bit old hat for some of my regulars, but I think everybody is understanding as to why we're doing it, and you know, trying to win this. And of course, I would like to think that I've got the best cheering section in hopefully all of YouTube, but most definitely all of this challenge. I hope that my viewers are cheering me on to win this thing. And as a consolation prize for all you folks that are watching my streams day in and day out and everything, I am doing a giveaway and I think I keep trying to cut down this same tree from the same angle, and I need to just stop it because it doesn't want to go. Anyway, I am giving away 3 copies of the upcoming Giants DLC. That is the Platinum Expansion DLC for Farm Sim 17, the one that's going to introduce South America to the world of Farm Sim, as well as sugar beets. It will be the brand new crop type that we can plant, as well as the equipment to be able to do that with, to plant it and harvest it. And I have no idea what kind of equipment that would be. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it all out together, of course. But that is that's coming, and of course I'm going to give away 3 copies of that. And I will, each episode, I announce a word of the day, or a code word of the day. And with that word of the day, you basically can email me, and that kind of confirms that you've watched the episode. You do need to be a subscriber, so I will check to make sure that you're a subscriber. So go ahead and click the subscribe button if you're interested in entering the contest. And then I announce the code word. You can enter once per episode. So you have the opportunity of entering 72 times if you have the time to watch all the episodes. And many have, so other folks are doing that. But definitely your opportunities there do exist, and I'll be announcing the code word here momentarily. So Bipolar Prophet has a question. He says, speaking of questions, I have a weird issue on Mountain Valley Farms that I've never run into before. What is that issue, BP? And also he says, I really hope they include the cane planter. Yes, that would be cool. I don't know what that looks like, but it sounds like it's fun. I would hope that, I think if I have a wish list, if I have an item that I hope that Giants would eventually add to Farm Sim, whether it be 17 or maybe we have to wait until 19, but I would hope that they would embrace cotton. Both cotton planters, whatever those look like. I don't know what a cotton planter looks like, but I do know what cotton harvesters do look like. I do see those when I drive to Texas to visit my family a couple of times a year. They're usually harvesting cotton in the fall time frame. They're everywhere between sort of Amarillo, the panhandle of Texas, all the way kind of down towards Wichita Falls, and I would really like to see that come into the game. You can't walk around the map. Now that is odd, and I'm assuming that this is only happening on Mountain Valley Farm. Well, you know, I'm playing Mountain Valley Farm. Now I'm playing a little bit different version. I'm playing like the very original version, or tab into vehicles at first. I thought my keyboard was dying, but I can't use my roller joystick or button box either. That is really odd. That is really, really odd. I don't know. Simply put, I don't know what could be causing that. Now certainly the tabbing into vehicles, I know that there are some mods that basically prevent that, but assuming that you haven't installed that, and BP, I know you've been around this game far long enough to know all of the basic troubleshootings of stuff, and I'm sure you've checked all of the mods to make sure that you don't have any conflicts and stuff like that. I don't know what to tell you. That just really sounds odd, and especially with it being just that map. I know that Farmer Klein is playing that map. Our mutual friend Mike is also playing that map. So I don't know. Maybe message Mike and see if he has any pointers or ideas that he could shed a bit of light there for us, because I certainly don't know what it could be. Sort of all things being equal, checking all of those things like mod conflicts and stuff like that. And again, you've been around this game long enough through multiple versions of it that you know, I'm not gonna insult your intelligence, because I know you know a heck of a lot more about this than I do. So you've already checked those things. But maybe somebody like Mike or somebody like that might know if or I suppose, I mean, verify that you have the most updated version of it. But I'm assuming that you've probably already checked that as well. We'll start a stack here. I mean, the really odd thing to me is the fact that if your other maps are working, your other game saves and everything are working, and why not this one, with everything else being the same? Mitchy Mitch 12 says cotton is definitely needed. That has been my desire since I first started playing. Yeah, there was a cotton mod for Farm Sim 15. It basically used the it either used the corn. I think it used the corn header. I think it was, if my memory serves me correctly. But it just wasn't right, because you know that's not how it's harvested. It's not harvested with the traditional combine. The bells, the cotton bells are huge. I mean, they're bells like bells of straw or hay or whatever. They're just massive in size, and you see these things littered out around the highway. Like I said, I see them as I go down to visit my family. Cotton is pretty big crop grown in the panhandle area of Texas and Oklahoma, I suppose. And I would like to see that. I'd like to see that, you know, be part of the game officially with the correct equipment and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if it's gonna be put in the game, I understand that modders and everything sort of have their hands tied, and so sometimes, you know, they will do something where they'll put a crop in, like cotton, for example, and it's not the appropriate equipment and everything, but you know, we've got it and kind of looks like cotton and everything, but it's important for us to grab all these kind of trees that are on these slopes and stuff like that, because if you happen, like if you were like Chris or the Bipolar Prophet that were watching some of my streams in the winter time, in the first year of winter, you notice how much of a struggle it was for us to maneuver. About the only thing that we could drive during the winter time, especially on the last day of winter and the first day of spring, was the Scorpion King. But of course, it would only really work on flat ground. And if I did a little bit better job of cutting these stumps off a little bit lower to the ground, I wouldn't have as many problems in trying to back up. Bullet Club 90, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday, or maybe even Saturday morning, depending on where you might be watching from. Alright, I think I will grab one more tree and then we'll get that cut, and then we will, let's see, that gold nugget right down there, is that the water tower or not? I can't remember if that is the water tower location or not, if we've already checked it. Oops. Thanks for the sub, Bullet Club. I appreciate that. Bullet Club says, I live in upstate New York, so it's still Friday for me. All right. I appreciate you tuning in from upstate New York. I have never had the opportunity to visit your fine state. It is on my bucket list. I want to visit all of the 48 lower 48 states, anyways, and I have a pretty good start on that that challenge, or that goal, I should say. I've got a little over half, but just nothing up in the say the New England area. So let's run out here and see if this gold nugget is the one that's in the water tower. If it is, then we'll have to come back for it. It is. I can tell from now. I think I can actually see it up there. So let's go ahead and get in our log truck and start hauling timber. And Mitchy Mitch says he is from Syracuse, New York, born in Ogdensburg, New York. Well, welcome to the stream from New York. Looks like our truck got washed. That's a good thing. We'll load up a few of these logs here. Let's see, right side. And we'll hit the B key and throw some of these on here. Come on, stop loading. Alright, we'll see if that'll work. If any fall off, we can pick them up on the way back. Alright, so we're about 55 minutes into the live stream. Just a few minutes, I'll give you the word of the day here. So just a few minutes ago, I was talking about the wonderful upcoming brand new map for FarmSim 17 by partnership of Bullet Bill and Oxygen David. Completely a remarkable looking map. I have the link down below to where you can watch Eustace Farmer's preview. And so the keyword or the code word for today is Eustace Farmer. So I will hope that you will go out and subscribe to his YouTube channel and watch his video, but also make sure that you make note of that code word. Again, the code word is Eustace Farmer, and that is how you will enter for my giveaway. I'm giving away 3 copies of the upcoming FarmSim 17 Platinum Expansion DLC pack that will be coming out in November, mid-November, and I'll be awarding that through Steam. For those of you who use Steam, that's how it will be rewarded or awarded to you. And you can enter once per episode, and all you need to do is just listen for the code word of the day. And then there's information down below the video on what you do with that code word. You basically email it to me, and I enter you for the drawing. And let's see, we need to switch over to the left side, untie it, and then start unloading. I will enter you for the drawing, and then my lovely wife will actually be doing the drawing. So I'll take everyone's name, the number of times that you have registered, throw them into a giant hat, and she will draw out the names. And I will contact you and let you know that you won. I'll be doing the drawing on the 6th of November. Of course, the challenge has to be done by the 1st of November, and I will be doing the drawing regardless of whether I complete the challenge or not. I think I sort of put that in the rules because I wasn't sure, but now that we're 35 episodes in, well, what's another 36 or so, 37 episodes, so might as well go ahead and finish. We're almost halfway through the challenge, and so then I will be awarding the 3 lucky winners. So good luck to everyone. And the expansion DLC should be cool. Again, it's got the sugarcane stuff in it. It's got the new map. It's going to be based in South America. I think that's cool that they're exposing other portions of the world. Obviously, that's going to be good for their pocketbooks and everything, because folks will obviously that are from that region will find that cool, just like we all find, for those of us that live here in the U.S., we find it cool that they have US-based maps or American-type maps. Like this one is, I often think that Goldcrest Valley is kind of Colorado-ish or Pacific Northwest, something like that. And what else can I tell you? If we can squeeze through this gap here and start filling logs again. We'll push that log out of the way, that's all right. Let's grab these on this other side as well. That's good, that's good. Could not do this without an auto-loading trailer. I know it's kind of cheating, but it's going to help. It's going to help us do well. I think it's going to help us hopefully win. It's at least allowing us to compete, I think, and that's cool. So we just kind of went the long way around to actually do a circle. I should have just turned around there. There was plenty of room. Oh boy, I hope we have not put ourselves in a bit of a pickle. Problem is I've lost my ability to turn because my front wheels are off the ground. So there's 2 ways to handle this. And the easiest way is with this guy. We'll cut that tree down. It is definitely a lot harder logging up in the hills like this, but again, while we do have considerable amount of trees that are on flat level surface. We need to save those for winter time, because if we have another bear of a winter, and I'm thinking that we're going to, because Old Guy Farmer, he had almost the exact same fall that he had last year, and we're having almost the exact same fall that we had last year. So that to me tells me that pretty much our weather pattern may be the same as it was before. And if that ends up being the case, then we're going to have a really, really bad winter, and we're not going to be able to move around. So again, that's kind of why I'm doing what we're doing and working up in these areas here in the fall and summer. Turn those lights off so we don't run the battery down. And hopefully we can back straight up now. I cut that stump low enough, I believe. But yeah, our front wheels are off the ground, so that means we have basically no steering. And I could not move the trailer, twist the trailer around, because we didn't have any steering, and it was just kind of doing the same thing over and over but expecting different results. And let's see if I can back this thing in here and load a few more sticks on here. I'll tell you what, let's just go with that. And we'll see if we can get some of these here. That is the definition of insanity. That's exactly right. I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was an Albert Einstein quote, something to the effect of doing the same thing over and over but expecting different results is the definition of insanity. And I am guilty of it more times than I would care to admit, but that is just kind of what happens. Anyway, we are moving on down the road here. So I am human, and I do make mistakes, and of course, you know, the physics of the game is not as forgiving as what we might want them to be, or what we might even expect them to be in the real world. As I've often said, I have driven forklifts and stuff in my day, and I can tell you that it's a lot easier to load or to actually use a forklift in real life than it is to use a forklift here in this game. Your visual perception is a lot different in the game than what it is in real life. It's easier to see where the forks are versus where the pallet is, and the pallets don't get hung on the forks like they do in the game. And so anyway, not making excuses, but if you guys play this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Gets dark quick. All right, we love the sound of cha-ching, cha-ching. Well, I was actually going to try to pick up a couple of gold nuggets, but we messed around with that timber just a little bit too much and missed our opportunity. But that's okay. There'll be time tomorrow. There'll be time the next day. Well, it may not be time the next day. So tomorrow will probably be what we'll represent there with Monday. Will probably be the last game day that we will do logging for at least one day, because I'm sure that on the first day of fall, if we have our fields that are ready, probably wheat, canola, barley, those will probably be ready to harvest, and we will be harvesting those on that day. We will try to get as much harvested. Might even have to pull an all-nighter to get it all done, because that rain that's coming in, 3 days, wet crop status, can't harvest, all that good kind of stuff. There's just no way that we could wait. And especially now, if the last 2 days of fall, were forecasted to be sunny, then that might be a little bit different story. But as they are not, as we've got that 5th game day is sunny, but then the 6th game day is rain, there is no way that I'm going to take the chance on trying to do that all in one day. So we're going to do what fields we can do on Tuesday, and then we'll come back and it'll probably be our soybean fields that will be the sort of the holdout. And then we'll do those on Saturday, the 5th game day of fall. And I think that is pretty much what we had to do last time. It's almost, it's sort of almost a carbon copy of last fall's plan. Let's see which side we're on. Left side, B. All right, we know the fix for this as well. It once again involves the Ponzi. The decision of putting the sawdust mod in may come back to haunt me, may come back to bite me, because again, I've kind of talked about the fact that maybe I'm not going to be taking the time to actually pick this stuff up, just simply because I've been kind of thinking, well, how many trees, how many loads to the lumber yard could I actually pick up in the time that it takes to do this? And well, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave our log trailer right here because we don't have enough logs to make another run. And I do want to take a look at our money here and just see how much we sold. 61,000. Okay, so we'll need to make up for that, but we can do that in another day. It's getting too dark to see. Keep an eye on chat and all that kind of stuff. Plus, it's almost time to end the stream anyway. We do have to play. Our game days are from roughly, sunrise until 9 p.m. And so it is coming up on 10. So we will just use the remaining time that we have together to clean up after our sheep and collect our eggs, and then that'll be it. That'll be it for episode number 35. Chris says, which mod are you wanting to know about? What is that? Let's see. Farmer Klein is in the house. You're catching up in days. I am. I am. I'm one episode away from the halfway point. This is episode number 35. But look at my fall forecast, Farmer Klein. It looks almost identical to the first year's fall forecast. So we're obviously going to be harvesting um, big time on the first day of fall, most likely. So somebody's asking about a mod. Are you asking about the trailer? The trailer he is using. Okay, the trailer I am using, if you go to grizzlybearsims.com, again that's grizzlybearsims.com, on the top of the page there will be a link that will say add-ons and mod directory. And if you click that, that will take you to a Google Docs spreadsheet. Then look at the bottom of that spreadsheet for FS17 or FarmSim 17, and then look in the trailer section, and then it is the Timber Runner by Stevie, I think. I think the link will point you to PCSG. Yeah, I was hoping for more randomness in the weather as well, and when I say randomness, I mean not like the first year, and certainly randomness in the fact that you guys would get to enjoy a very difficult winter, but it's looking like, at least from what I'm seeing, from what you told me about Old Guy Farmer's second year, and I'm assuming that maybe you're deep enough in it to where you're also realizing that it's sort of becoming a repeat of your first year as well. Yeah, it is kind of disappointing. I mean, what I didn't realize we drew straws, and I certainly didn't realize that I drew the short straw with regards to the fact that I get the really wicked weather. So anyway, let's go ahead and click escape. Let's go ahead and save. Had a good day yesterday at logging, not so good the day before, good day on Thursday. So I mean, again, I know I can't, it's almost difficult to try to hit that $100,000 mark each of those days, but you know, we're doing the best we can, and that's really all we can do. We're going to rest for the night, and then there's our 5:50 in the morning. We'll quickly save the game, and then we're going to quit the game. And that will wrap up episode number 35. I'm going to go upstairs and watch another movie with my beautiful bride, my wife, and I will most likely stream at least one episode tomorrow morning, maybe two. It just kind of depends on what all I've got going on tomorrow, but I do typically stream on Saturday mornings, and I appreciate you all coming out and hanging out with me and keeping me company. If you like what you see, please click the like button. If you really like what you see, and especially if you're interested in the contest giveaway that I'm doing, that I've been talking about, then please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate that. Become part of the Grizzly Bear Sims family. And thank you all. Thank you, Chris, for helping to keep the stream calm and civil. It was very much different from last night, so thank you so much. Thank you to all who are helping to keep this channel G-rated. So thank you all. Good night, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.